Welcome to the Hook and Reel Kayak Fishing Show, brought to you by Classic City Kayak Anglers and Coyote Outfitters in Watkinsville, Georgia, with your hosts, Freddie Garza and David Smith.
Hello and welcome back to the Hook and Reel Kayak Fishing Show, your home for all things kayak fishing in Georgia. My name is David Smith. Please welcome my co-host, Mr. Freddie Garza. On today's show, we're going to kind of kick off the 2021 season. We're going to try to cover as many of the series as we can, let you know what's going on with all of them and all the tournaments, and see if we can't get you all the information you need to get your plan started for the 2021 season. So with that, Freddie, get us kicked off with the information you got, sir.
Sure. Yeah, there's quite a bit of it. So I think today's show is really going to focus in on just hopefully covering as much of it as possible. If there's anything that we've left out, or if you guys have anything as far as schedules out there that we have overlooked, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to have any of that information here on the show. Because what our goal is for this year is to, definitely monitor the trails as they go through and have some of the tournament winners on the show, talking to them, seeing how the event went, and getting some information on some of the waters that these clubs are fishing out there. So look for that. And if you're a tournament director for one of these clubs, if you have anything that you'd like for us to add as far as each event, just please feel free to reach out to myself or David. Get us that information. We'd love to pass that along here to everyone watching. So just let us know if there's anything. But let me start off with I want to start off with the high school trail. This will be Georgia High School Kayak Fishing Association. This is going to be our second year. Our first year was it was intertwined with COVID. We had a pretty decent little turnout, I think, for the circumstances last year. Had a lot of great high school anglers come out and compete. We were able to send one team to the Student Angler Federation National Championship in Wisconsin, and that was Cale Henderson and his teammate Will Holloway. They did a phenomenal job out there, and it's a great opportunity for these kids to kind of participate with other high school anglers, and it gives them an opportunity to do so where they might not otherwise have one, and that's through the kayak. One of the things that David and I are constantly hearing from a lot of the high school bass clubs is the difficulties that they have in getting enough boat captains and boats for these anglers. So the number of anglers, high school anglers that are out there far exceed the number of boats and captains that they're able to get. So we feel very fortunate to be able to offer up this opportunity. So if you hear of anyone who is interested in high school bass angling, please let them know that we're around. So we're another opportunity that kind of parallels the boats in certain circumstances, not all, but certain. And one of those opportunities is the ability to make it to the national championship. Now, even though these kids qualify through a kayak, they will have to flip into a boat, which we realize is it's a different ball game. But we feel like there's a lot of advantages that are gained through the kayak that make it a little bit easier of a transition going into a big boat. Obviously there's other obstacles and challenges to overcome, but at least that opportunity is there to fish amongst their peers in a high level competition such as the Student Angler Federation National Championship. So with that said, again, we'll say it and we'll say it again. If you hear of anyone that's interested in joining the ranks of high school bass fishing, we are another opportunity here at the Georgia High School Kayak Fishing Association. A few things to note in getting involved with the association, since we are partnered with Student Angler Federation. There's a few requirements that are needed. First, you do need to be a Student Angler Federation member, and you can do so through your high school club. And if your high school does not offer it, we can sign you up through the association. So feel free to reach out to myself or David here at the shop, and we'll get you put onto our roster. That's a $25 annual fee. The second thing you'll need is a $30 annual fee for Georgia High School Kayak Fishing Association. What we do with our dues for our association is that we take care of anything that needs to be done regarding promotions, prize packs, helping with stipends to send these teams to the national championship. So all of our due money goes right back to the anglers. and the parents. So that's a $30 annual fee. That's payable to Georgia HSKFA@gmail.com. That's a PayPal account, and we'll have all the information there on our Facebook page. So please visit that if you weren't able to catch the information on how to pay for that. So again, Student Angler Federation, you've got two options. Either you pay that fee through your high school bass team, or you're more than welcome to join us at the Georgia High School Kayak Fishing Association. And again, all of our pay information, all of this information that I'm saying right now will be located there on our Facebook page as well. The next thing you'll need is for us, and this is again all on the Facebook page, but we do require a kayak safety course, and that course is pinned on our page at the top. It's a link to the website of where to take that course and print out your certificate to send in to us so we have on file. The next item will be a liability waiver we'll need for you on file. And again, all that information will be there on our Facebook page. This year we're doing something different. All of our fish submissions during the tournaments are going to be via Tourney X. So you'll need to download the latest version of Tourney X, and that's Tourney X Pro, and have that readily available if you are attending one of our tournaments, because all fish submission will be through Tourney X. And any instruction regarding Tourney X, there are going to be some specific things that we're going to be utilizing on the app. So be sure to tune in when we have our captain's meeting, because we'll definitely detail, the how to operate and what we are needing from you, the angler, when using the app. Let's see here, liability waivers, and I think that covers it. Other than that, the entry fees this year for each tournament is going to be $35, and again, all the pay information will be there on the Facebook page. If you have any questions regarding it, again, I'll say it and say it again. Just feel free to reach out to David or I. We're more than happy to answer any questions, or if you know of any high school bass club directors, pass their information along to us. We'd love to have a conversation with them. Most of the conversations we've had in the first year have all gone well, just because it is a different opportunity, and it definitely helps them out and alleviate those that they normally have to turn away because they don't have that opportunity for boats and captains. So, we want to definitely swoop in there and give these high school anglers that opportunity to come and fish competitively. This year we've got, again, another spot that we'll be sending a team to Student Angler Federation National Championship in June, I believe, end of June. This one's going to be a lot closer to home, so we look forward to sending a team there. As well as our state championship tournament that we'll have in late fall. And, we look forward to crowning our second high school national champion. Last year's honors went to K.O. Henderson, who had a phenomenal season throughout. I said earlier, he went to the national championship with his partner. He went on to finish up the season and win the state champion, our first ever kayak state high school champion. So if you have an opportunity, congratulate Will, because he was there in the hunt from the word go. So he worked his tail off to get what he got, and we're very proud that he was a part of it for the first year.
Well, let me add something. It's just piggybacking right off of what you just said, really. Guys, if you know anybody in any of these high school programs, that first of all, a current program that has a bass fishing program, whether it be the whichever series they follow, we'll just say that. Reach out to them, because we're finding out so many times we talk with them that they have a lot of kids that really, really want to fish, but for whatever reason, they can't find boat captains, we can't find partners. This is a great opportunity for them. So if you know anybody in any of these high school programs, reach out to them and let them know about it. Right now, we're still in even though we had a great first year, we're still in that we didn't even know you guys were there kind of deal. So the more you can let people know, if you teachers, whatever, doesn't matter. Just help us get the information out there. It's just a simple, hey, were you guys aware that we had a kayak fishing program, a high school kayak fishing program? And then send them to the Facebook page, give them one of our phone numbers or whatever, and we'll take care of it. But we just really need to get more information out there. There's so many kids that we can help get on the water that just simply don't know yet. So help us out with that if you can.
Definitely. Yeah, to kind of reiterate to that, we've had many conversations with a lot of these newer clubs that are going to be joining us this year, and it was interesting to hear that a lot of them hadn't heard of us, and it's not surprising. We're doing the best we can, but I think word of mouth is definitely the best approach to that. So if you know of any high school angler aged individuals, have them get in touch with us, and if they want to have this opportunity, we'll definitely make sure that they get all the information they need to get started.
And we keep saying high school because that's the name, but this is middle school as well.
Exactly.
So I just want to be sure you understand that.
Yes.
It's high school and middle school.
Seventh grade.
Right.
Yes. 7th to 12th for sure. And that's really all that I have for that today. Obviously, we'll be talking more about that as the as we get into our next season. We want to bring that to the forefront as much as possible, and definitely we'll be doing the same with the high school anglers that we're going to be doing with the adult clubs, and that's hopefully bringing on some of these anglers so you guys can get to meet them and get to know who they are and what their ambitions are there in high school. So these individuals are the future of what we do. Just kind of looking around this kayak community, and as long as we've been in it, it's a very passionate community. That's one thing that I've always enjoyed hearing from business owners and people outside, is how passionate kayak anglers are, and it's great to be a part of this community. And these individuals here in high school, they're the future, and I think anything that we can do as adults and people who have been in this community for a while is help them grow within the community and help them bring the next level, or the next age group or stage, however you want to call it, the next wave of us, kind of bring them through the ranks. So it's really exciting to watch. Hopefully, I think we've got a lot of plans for the high school this year, and hopefully we'll be able to put at least a handful of them together and give you guys kind of some insight. And what we mean by that is going, doing some live feeds of some of these tournaments to, so you can see what's going on in the high school ranks as they kind of progress through tournaments in the season this year. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, hopefully it's a work in progress. We hope to get that up and going. There's still a lot of ideas being bounced around of how we can make that happen. And, if we do, hopefully, you guys will tune in and follow along. So, moving on to Georgia Bass Nation. Bit of information was dropped last week, I believe, if not the week before. The schedule for 2021 has dropped. Please visit the Facebook page. The schedule is there, and along with some information on how to get involved. So if there's still confusion on how to get involved, I'm going to brief through it here. But again, all of the information is written down on a post there on the Facebook page. But just to kind of skim over it, first thing, if you have never been a part of Bassmaster or any Bass Nation club, first thing you're going to want to do is visit bassmaster.com and hit the join now button. That's going to be a $15 membership due, and that's an annual due. That basically covers your Bassmaster membership. Once you've done that, you'll be given a Bassmaster membership number. Once you have that number, you can start talking to affiliated clubs, and there's a list of clubs there on the Facebook page with their contacts that you'll want to reach out to ask them about joining their Bassmaster roster. Once you do that, you will send that club. I'll use an example. We have Classic City. I'll be the contact for Classic City. So if you choose to join our roster, our Bass Nation roster, just reach out to me. I'll send you all the information, payment information, and how to get that to us. But it's a $60 annual membership due. That's kind of split off into two different organizations, so to speak. One will go to Bass Nation, and the other will go to Georgia Bass Nation. Once those dues are paid, you are eligible to start signing up for I believe we have, I don't believe we have 3 events and a championship this year. So you'll be eligible to start registering for those as soon as your Georgia Bass Nation dues are paid. This year we will be qualifying for the state championship. There's a couple of ways to qualify. There's still a couple of question marks on some of those, so I don't mean to, confuse anyone, but I'll kind of brief through all of that. But the first way to qualify is to finish in the top 15 of any of the 3 events leading up to the championship. We have 3 events prior to, and we'll take the top 15 from each, and that's going to basically make our championship field. So we have 45 total anglers that'll come out of 3 events that are going to make the championship field. The other option, and this is completely up to the clubs, they aren't required to do this, but if they choose to do so, I believe there's 3 clubs that are listed on there. They each have 3 spots to hand out to their members. Now, how they do that is entirely up to them, whether they want to utilize their AOY, any of their other point systems to qualify those 3 spots. I'm going to leave that up to each tournament director and how they want to fill those spots. So there's another potential if you fish with Peach State and they decided to utilize those 3 spots. You'll need to talk to John Hummel and his guys to figure out how they're going to allocate those. Same goes with every other club that's affiliated with Georgia Bass Nation. There are talks about a few other clubs popping up this year. If that's the case, then I'll reach out to them and figure out one, how large their roster is, and make sure that they meet the minimum criteria to be allowed those 3 spots. So always stay tuned to Georgia Bass Nation. I'm going to try to get as much information up there as possible as we get through the season. Tourney X, obviously we'll be using Tourney X for every tournament, so all registration will go through Tourney X. And start to look for that. I'll drop the first one in Tourney X here to start getting registered for our first event in March. So other than that, that should cover Georgia Bass Nation. But I'll be sound like a broken record, but if you guys, we're going to post up our phone numbers. So again, if you have any questions regarding Bass Nation, feel free to reach out to myself or David. Our phone numbers will be on there. So, other than that, David, I had a question for you. Hopefully I'm not putting you on the spot, but have you had an opportunity to kind of look at all the schedules that are dropped so far?
Yeah, I think I have. I've looked through pretty much all of them, and my first response would be there's not a shortage of places. So and that's kind of the way it's always been in Georgia. We've always had the opportunities, and most of the series and tournament directors have done a good job of trying not to be on top of each other and give good waters to fish. And I'm excited to see this year. I know we got some new things coming this year with some of the Bass Nation stuff, Georgia Kayak Fishing League this year, and Peach State's put together some new stuff. So there's just a lot of good stuff out there. So I'm really excited. I think we've got something for the grassroots guy that's the first, maybe first year kayak fisherman. I think there's plenty of places for him to fish, and her, excuse me, ladies, I apologize for that. Didn't mean that, but there's places for the beginner angler to fish, and then there's places for the guy who wants to, that is a good stick that's, top level kayak fishermen. We got plenty of places for them to fish as well. So I think the future of kayak fishing in Georgia just continues every year just to improve. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Right. Yeah, it was interesting to kind of see the dynamics coming out this year as the the trail started to drop, because I think there's nothing. I don't know. I'm guilty of being a Facebook troll. I want to keep a heartbeat on the community, and specifically Georgia's kayak community. And one thing that I noticed, the year that we started Classic City seemed to be a year of growth. There was a lot of clubs that were coming out. Obviously, you've had Real Crazy, Chattahoochee, and Peach State that have been around since 2016ish. I believe my research serves me right, but. It was interesting, and last night I was listening to John Hummel and Andy Middleton, and they were guests on Fish North Georgia, And the one thing that really stood out to me was, the host, Danny Pruitt, was going to ask a question about when Peach State started. And Charles, who is near and dear to Classic City at Coyote, they didn't even ask the question, and he knew what the answer was. He knew what the question was before they asked it, and he answered the question with 2016. But as soon as that year hit and I saw it, I realized we're only 5 years in here. I know there's some things that happened prior to that, but I think those were just kind of the scratches of where we started to get organized in 2016 and what you're seeing now. And the year I'm talking about that saw the exponential growth was 2018, because that was the year that we brought Classic City into the mix. And and I don't want to lose track of Mike Niles. Mike Niles has been around. I had an opportunity to talk to him.
Hard to lose track of Mike.
And he had a lot to do with the community. Prior to the Peach States and everything, and it's giving those. I want to make sure that we're giving those guys who work very hard to get these things organized their credit. Right. And I think our community, as passionate as we can be sometimes, I think we can be just as critical. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that's disheartening to see in some of these posts is just the criticism of certain things and how they get placed or how they get organized or done. And I think we all need to take a step back every now and then and realize that these guys that the John Hummels, the Mike Niles, everybody involved in the back end, Daniel Smith, all these guys they're taking their time to get these things organized are getting paid to do this. Right. And I want to I'm not bashing anybody here. I'm just stating what I see, and it's one thing to step up to the plate and take the lead, but feelings do get hurt, I think, when people get too criticizing. And I just want to put that out there. If you get an opportunity, thank one of these tournament directors and these board members, because I tell you what, the hours that get put into trails like this aren't, they're not small hours. They're countless hours of research, of talking, of meetings, and what you see is just the end result. And I think some of these people that are making these comments don't really realize the efforts that go into creating something like these trails.
I agree.
So again, if you get an opportunity, just give a shout out to one of these guys, just because. So didn't mean to jump on a soapbox with that, but it's amazing, because I think last year we had a lot of challenges. One, it was the amount of clubs, the amount of opportunities, and then you mix that in with COVID, and everything just kind of got mixed in. And I think some people in some clubs got overlooked and overshadowed, and that was just the way it was going to be last year due to COVID. So This year it seems like some things have organized a little bit, and I think have alleviated a lot of those options in a good way. And I think the creation of Georgia Kayak Fishing League and John and Peach State and the opportunities that they're creating with the Tournament of Champions, real crazy in what they're doing as well. I think that's all great to see. I did notice, and I haven't had an opportunity to Chattahoochee Kayak Anglers, they did make a post, I believe last week, a week before, that they are going to be having some events this year. So as soon as I get that information, we'll definitely pass that along to y'all as well. And I know there's another group, I believe West Point area. They're going to be hosting some, I believe it's GLL Marine, that's going to be hosting some beginner tournaments. So we want to make sure and bring those to you guys as well. So, if you know anybody who's new and ready to get into the sport, it sounds like, they're going to be doing that to cater to them. So what better opportunity than, fish amongst other beginners. I think that just helps people kind of get off that edge and say, I'm going to give this a try. Because once they do, we all know what happens. They're just going to get hooked into it. So, but anyway, getting into some of the local tournaments, we're going to start off with Peach State Kayak Anglers. This year, their season is presented by the Dugout Bait and Tackle. Jamie Koza and his team are, they've come on the scene hard. So it's great to see, the level of support that they're putting down and helping with, multiple areas is just, it's amazing. So John Hummel and Peach State Kayak Anglers, again, their trail presented by the Dugout Bait and Tackle. They're going to be kicking off February 27th on Lake Seminole. Looks like a great time of year for them to be hitting that down there. Their trail will continue on, and every episode we'll talk about that. But for now, we're looking at February and the first few tournaments in the state of Georgia. And Peach State Kayak Anglers, Lake Seminole, February 27th. They are going to be utilizing Tourney X this year, so all of their information as far as registration is going to be on Tourney X. So I believe John had mentioned they're going to start dropping that here pretty soon if it's not dropped already. So give Tourney X a search for, and I'm not sure what best way to search, but I would say, at least Peach State Kayak Anglers or Lake Seminole, and get reared down to February 27th, and you'll find that registration information for them. They do require waivers to be signed, so you'll want to visit their Facebook page, make sure that you're adhering to everything that they need prior to you actually registering for the tournament. So I know they do want a waiver on file, and again, everything is listed there on their Facebook page as far as what information they need from you prior to registration. So if you have any questions with that, I'd reach out. John Hummel is very good, very active on Facebook, so reach out to him if you have any questions regarding Peach State Kayak Anglers. One of the things that's pretty unique, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to missay anything, but is his John Hummel with Peach State. They've come up with a tournament of champions this year, which is very unique for the state of Georgia, and I believe there's certain requirements that need to be met in order to qualify for that championship at the end of the year. And I believe it is winning a tournament within the state of Georgia on Georgia waters, minimum of 20 anglers participating in that tournament, and a minimum of 7 hours on the water. So it has to be a live event. But again, all of that information is there. He put out a very detailed post regarding how to qualify for that. And they will be having an open at the end of the year as well, and all the details there are on Peach State's Facebook page. So, David, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm sorry. I was adjusting the volume of the microphone.
I just don't want to sit here and hog it up.
I'm excited to see this. I don't want to say the new program, new approach, or whatever that Peach State with the tournament champions, but to me, it's good that seeing new things coming. It's not, we fish the same waters, whichever club you're in. We only a limited amount of waters you can fish, but to have new challenges and new tournament structures and things like that, I think are great. It keeps everything, fresh, and I really like that idea. So I'm looking forward to see how this plays out, and and looking forward to seeing who all qualifies, that sort of thing. I think that'll be fun as well as seeing the build up to the tournament. So congratulations to those guys for coming up with something new and a new approach. I really like that.
Right. No, I agree with that. I think John put out a post a few weeks ago or last week regarding kind of the change or the transition from what they were doing to what they're going to do this year. And again, being that troll that I am, I was reading some of the comments, and again, I think it wasn't an easy decision for them to kind of have to change it. I don't think any tournament director goes off and starts something that they believe is going to not be exactly what they want. And I think the state championship that was prior to what John's doing now was it was a great system when they first talked about it, and I think things just changed. So it made it to where I think John and his board wanted to reevaluate it and figure out what it was that the anglers wanted, and I think they're onto something. I'll be very curious to follow along and see how this all plays out for sure. So Moving on to the next club, we have Real Crazy Kayak Fishing, and they are kicking off. They'll be partnering with Peach State. Their first event is going to be March 27th. I haven't seen any information as of yet as far as whether or not they'll be utilizing Tourney X or not. So again, keep up with their Facebook page. But again, they're going to be on Lake Eufaula with Peach State Kayak Anglers on March 27th. Again, I think it's one of those timing things where it's going to be a good time to be on that water and competing. So, Real Crazy. Again, follow their Facebook page. They should be putting out some information regarding how to sign up for their events. I know it's the same waiver system. All of their rules and everything are there on their Facebook page. But if you have any questions with them, I believe one of their main contacts is Aaron Wilson. So reach out to him. I'm sure he'll get back to you as soon as possible with any questions you may have. Finally, we will finish off with Georgia Kayak Fishing League. Georgia Kayak Fishing League was formed kind of in the off season. It started morphing, I think, a little bit last year just due to COVID and the panic of some of the tournament directors, myself included. It just got to a point where, with the competition of anglers in the area and, COVID, trying to limit the choices, reaching out to some of these other clubs and joining forces to kind of finish out last year. It kind of was what it was. I think it was still nice to be able to put on some tournaments for the anglers, and we had some decent turnouts. But what that led to was more discussions, talking to more clubs within our area of Georgia, so to speak. Reaching out to East Central, talking with Daniel Smith and what was Georgia Kayak Fishing League, still is, but his guys and himself. There will be North Georgia Kayak Anglers. They will be fishing the Georgia Kayak Fishing League. This is something that as talks were had regarding it, it was just something to bring to the table that was a little different. So there are some uniquenesses to what Georgia Kayak Fishing League is going to do, and I think the main one is the level of commitment that they're asking from the anglers that are going to be competing in the tournament trail. So to fish Georgia Kayak Fishing League, you must be a member. It's a $20 annual membership fee, and that money goes to their championship pot. The championships, the people who qualify for the championship at the end of the year will not have to pay an entry fee to get into the championship. So once you qualify, it's a free entry championship, and a ton of great prizes that they have, and I'm sure they'll start posting those up, so you'll know what you're vying for at the championship, as well as the Angler of the Year. So all of that is all encompassed in that $20 annual membership fee, on top of their specific tournament entry fees. So it's a one-time $20 annual membership fee, and then you pay for each tournament that you fish. They will be tabulating Angler of the Year points, and again, as time passes, they'll start to put out all that information regarding that. But their first trail, or their first stop, is going to be Lake Sinclair, February the 20th. Georgia Kayak Fishing League will be utilizing Tourney X as well, so that tournament should be dropping soon. Look for it. You can search Georgia Kayak Fishing League, and the tournament should pop up for you, and all the information needed. Rules will be basically your Bass Nation rules. So trolling motors will be allowed in the Georgia Kayak Fishing League. And I said last, but I forgot one club. I didn't actually forget them. I just didn't realize I was talking. So I do want to welcome one club, and this is one, it's an area that I think so many people have been waiting for something to start out on. And we had the opportunity. We actually finished up just before the holidays and interviewing Daniel Woodcock, who was, decided to take the reins and take the lead of trying to gather up everybody in Southeast Georgia. So we're very excited for him. He's, ready to go. He's got his schedule out. So look for them. It's Southeast Georgia Kayak Bass Fishing. give them a like, follow them, and let's show them some support, because they're, it's so exciting to finally see something in that area getting kicked up, especially on the bass side. So they will be kicking off March 20th at Evans County PFA. All of their information is located there on their Facebook page, and I'm sure if you reach out to Daniel, he'll get back to you ASAP with anything you may need regarding the club. So that's that's it in a nutshell, David, I guess.
Let me say something about that. Daniel, guys, if you can support them, I know for us here in the northeast, northern central area, Metro Atlanta, Athens, it's a pretty good little ride down there to the Savannah area. So that's Savannah is kind of the center of that area for Southeast Georgia kayak fishing, and Daniel's taking this on, and he's trying to build something down there. So if you get a chance to go down there and support him, I lived in that area for a little while, and that first pond that they're fishing in, that Evans County PFA, there's 3 ponds there. Not as, most of you guys probably fish Charlie Elliott. It's not as many ponds to choose from, but all 3 of the ponds, 2 of the ponds especially, are really big ponds. Tons of lily pads. It'll just be fun to go down. March 20th, that area, should be really, really good. Oh. And so if you get a chance to go down and support Daniel, I mean, he's trying something new. He's trying to get this thing off the ground. So if you get an opportunity to go down and support him, most of those South Georgia waters that they're going to be fishing are pretty good. Like I said, I'm very familiar with Evans. So if you get a chance to go fish with them, try to take advantage of that, because I think you'll enjoy it.
Definitely. Daniel, I'm going to commit this. I'll make definitely one of them. Unfortunately, that one won't be the one, as I'll be in Texas visiting my oldest son. So I will have you in my thoughts and definitely following along to see how that one goes. But we're very excited for you to kick off your season, and look forward to great things coming out of that area. So, real quick, I wanted to, we started off with Georgia High School. Wanted to just mention that season will be getting kicked off on March the 6th at Bear Creek Reservoir. Right now, due to COVID, everything that we do, and I should backtrack, because that's going to be, I can speak for Georgia Kayak Fishing League, Georgia Bass Nation, and now Georgia High School. Until further notice, due to COVID, everything will be virtual. So there will be no award ceremony. There will be no live captains meeting. Everything will be virtual until further notice. So again, kicking off our season for high school is going to be March 6th at Bear Creek Reservoir. Be patient with us on that one and stay tight to our page for it, because we are getting a lot of interest, and Bear Creek Reservoir is not it's not conducive to large crowds. So if something happens, if we flip and end up doing something great for the association and having a huge turnout, then we might have to switch waters, but we'll definitely keep you well informed if that happens. So just wanted to throw that out there just in case. I know a lot of these anglers like to get out and pre-fish, but I will do my best. David and I will do our due diligence in getting that information out and giving you enough heads up on what the alternative lake will be if we end up getting the turnout that I'm hopefully anticipating. Right. It'd be a good thing for us if it has to move. I know some people want to fish that. It's a great fishery, especially March 6th. That reservoir stays closed throughout the winter, and you couldn't ask for a better time to kind of get on it, and they are chomping right at that time. So. Right. And that's that. So that's basically all I had.
Well, and that's a ton of information. And again, as I said earlier, a lot of great opportunities in the state of Georgia. So if grab somebody by the hand, drag them with you, bring some new people into the sport. As Freddie mentioned earlier, as we all know, once they get started, you really can't stop it. It gets in your blood. And so, I'm excited that the state of Georgia has so much to offer. We've got some great water, plenty of water to fish, great lakes, rivers, and we got got a lot of great opportunities. So take advantage of it, guys, and support these clubs. And as Freddie mentioned earlier, I think something that we don't do enough is shake the hand of the tournament director and pat him on the back instead of talking bad about him. Sorry to be direct, but you know what happens. You know, these guys are working for free. They're working for you. And I think that's something that we forget. You know, ultimately, they are working for you.
Absolutely.
Because they put a lot of time and effort, a lot of late nights, a lot of work into this. And as Freddie mentioned earlier, it's all free, guys. They don't get paid for it. So not getting paid for it is one thing. None of these guys, I'm sure, would, if you ask every one of them, it has nothing to do with that. They're doing it for the love of the sport. But sometimes, even though you don't get paid, because I've been in those kind of positions before, you don't get paid. It sure is nice to get a thank you every now and then. So offer that up to them. That was free of charge. I'll get off my soapbox as Freddie said earlier. Anyway, guys, appreciate you being with us. We took a little break there through Christmas and New Year's, as I know most of you guys did, so we're back hard at it now. We're going to bring you the best information we possibly can about the tournament scene, best interviews, anything that we can do. If there's something that, you know, we said in the beginning of this, that we're trying to make this the home of all things kayak fishing in the state of Georgia. If there's something that we can't see because it's right in front of us or whatever, that's a glaring hole that we need to touch, please let us know. I mean, we want to make this we want to make this an interesting platform for you guys. And, you know, whether it be the interviews, the information Freddie's been giving out about the tournaments, winners, all that kind of stuff, whatever it is, reach out to us, guys, because we want to make this about Georgia kayak fishing. So anything that we can do, we would love to hear from you. So with that, Freddie, you got anything else you want to add?
No, I just, you know, I'll piggyback to that. You know, if there's anything, like David said, that we're, you know, it's right in front of us that we're missing, please let us know, because we definitely want to support everyone. You know, every club out there, we want to make sure that we're getting the information out. And, you know, we'll ask you the same thing that that David was mentioning, doing for the tournament directors. And that's, you know, helping us spread the word. If you can, you know, share our videos, like our page, and, you know, give us some insight. If there's some things that you want added to what we're doing, we'd love to hear them. We'd love to add them. You know, we've got a lot of things that we're working on for this upcoming season that hopefully, you know, draw some interest in what we're doing on the tournament side of things. You know, we're hoping for some live feeds, talking to the anglers while they're on the water and things like that. So stay tuned as we, you know, start to organize and get that stuff together. As well as talking to the tournament directors and the anglers involved in these tournaments. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be the winner. We want to know kind of how things are going for everyone, you know. So just because you didn't win that tournament doesn't mean that, you know, you're not someone that we want to talk to about Georgia kayak fishing. So, but like David said, if you got anything, any suggestions, we're open to them. Love to hear them, and you know, hopefully start implementing some of them. So. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you for tuning in. Our next show will be February 11th, and we'll be back on our schedule of coming to you every 2 weeks. So thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next time.
Take care.